time for Cigar Talk, the fastest growing cigar show in the nation. Whether you're a new cigar enthusiast or a cigar aficionado, we have something for everyone. Bringing you the best interviews, cigar reviews. So grab yourself a cigar.
It's time to light 'em up.
Welcome back to Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We got Sam in the co-pilot seat tonight. You got talking about an expert here. We have a expert cigar guy here. Welcome to the show, bro.
How's it going?
Good, man. How's your week been?
It's been rough. Been a long week. Had a lot of
You have a lot of long weeks.
A lot of stuff going on all the ways. We had Outlaws and Legends on Friday and Saturday.
For a dude that doesn't have a job, you're the busiest guy I know.
A lot of people tell me, it's like, oh, must be nice retired.
Oh, no.
I stay busy.
Yeah. You're always busy. You have kids that play sports. You're traveling all the time. You do a lot of events. You travel a lot. So,
Any free time I get, I try to do a cigar event, visit some cigar shops.
Or you're here.
Or I'm here.
So we're glad you're here. Anyway, guys, we got a great show lined up for you today. Let me pull out my show notes and I'll tell you what we got. We have the Showcase 6, which we're going to give you some cigar reviews a little bit later. We also have the winner from the original. We asked for listeners to send us their Showcase 6, and we went through and picked one out. I thought it was a great review. The guy said, hey, this is my first time. So that's a little hint there if you're one of the guys that said this was my first time. Then we're going to do some bourbon tastings, give you some reviews. We're going to talk about travel destinations for cigar smokers. Like, do you do trips that are just cigar related? I mean, I do.
Not necessarily trips where I'm doing just cigars, but I usually plan where I'm staying at, close to a good cigar lounge.
So it comes into being a factor. And then we're going to tell you about all the like accessories and stuff for a cigar smoker. And I mean, everybody knows like the basic ones, but we're going to get into some details about some different ones. So you're not going to miss any of this stuff. Tell everybody what we're smoking tonight. And I'm actually putting one down. I enjoyed this. This was the punch. What's this called? The chop suey stick?
Chop suey. Is that right,
Chop suey. And so it's been great. It's a Lancero. And, you know, the last time I told you I didn't really care for it. This one I really care for the blend. It's just I've been trying to do a bunch of stuff pre-show, and so it keeps going out.
Yeah.
And I kind of hate to put it out, but I'm really excited about getting into this cigar that you brought for me.
So this is a new cigar I just tried last week for the first time. It's from Hoot & Young, Norm Hoot and Tim Young. And they're military-owned, veteran-owned.
And they're not just military-owned. They're like all-stars in the military.
So
you should know who they are if you're a military guy.
Norm Hoot was a Delta Force operator. They actually made the movie Black Hawk after him. And he's come out with a line of cigars that all tell a different story. So like the one I'm going to smoke next is Operation Gothic Serpent, which is Mogadishu in 1993. So they all have a story. But they also have bourbon. So they didn't come out with just cigars. They came out with bourbons to pair.
And I asked you how their bourbon was. Now tell everybody, you met these guys.
Man, I met them. They were great.
Tell them where you were.
So once a year, Abilene does a big country music festival.
It's the Texas Red Dirt concert.
Outlaws and Legends. So they had Hoot & Young, a couple of other people sponsored them. And they sold Hoot & Young cigars.
Just their cigars. How were the cigar sales?
The cigar sales were great.
Did y'all run out?
We did not run out. There was plenty of cigars to be sold. So
like the guys that were there helping, did you guys get free cigars?
We did. They brought us each.
I figured they'd run out just because Bryant was there.
They brought us a bundle the first day to smoke. But then throughout the day, they would bring us different ones from their line that we could smoke. So there was plenty of cigars to smoke. Next day, they brought us another bundle.
You got a good torch on you? Oh, yeah. You got the old Grand Habano lighter. Yeah. That's a badass lighter. In case you guys haven't seen it, man, it's like a brick.
If you can find one, I would love to have another one. But they don't make them anymore. So we got to try their bourbon. Plus, if you're VIP, you get to drink all the bourbon you want. There was no limits on it. There was actually some tequila that I had that was really good by Don Rico. It's a new tequila, just came out. They're not in every shop, but that was great. But I smoked a lot of cigars, drank a lot of bourbon, listened to some good music, and we sold a lot of cigars.
And let me say, I've never had this. This is called the 2020.
Yes.
And just from appearance, it's a good looking cigar. I mean, the presentation on this, the wrapper's nice. There's no seams. And the band, I love their logo, and they're straight like a flat charcoal. It's not a black, but a flat charcoal with all gold lettering and emblem.
It's a beautiful cigar.
Good looking cigar. So hats off to you guys over there at, what is it? Hooten and Young.
Hooten and Young. And
now, is that two different people? There's a Hooten and there's a Young.
Norm Hooten and then Tim Young.
Okay. And were they in the military together?
No, I think Tim and they were just friends.
Okay.
And of course, they're from Tampa, Florida. And they were just bullshitting one afternoon, having a cigar, drinking some bourbon, and got the idea to.
How long ago was this? Like, how long have they been like doing bourbon and cigars? Do you know?
It's only been 2 years.
Wow.
So not very long.
That's kicking ass.
And they got a good 7 or 8 cigars they come out with, and they're all have been amazing.
Okay.
This is Dorm's favorite.
Awesome.
When I smoked it, I was like, this is my favorite. I did ask for a 5x42. So that might be in the works eventually. So
they don't make that yet.
They don't make that yet.
Yeah. Anybody out there that is making cigars, if you could make a 5.5 by 42, even a 44, dude,
do it.
I'm all over that shit.
Do it.
So anyway, this is my first time to smoke it so far.
San Andreas wrapper.
Digging it. And I love San Andreas wrappers.
And it's got the Ligedo in it. It's from Jalapa. So you get the sweetness from it.
I was going to say the Jalapa with the Ligero, you're getting some strength, but you're also getting a little sweetness.
And then you'll get the earthiness from the Fillers Ometepe region.
Oh, dude.
Which is one of the best regions.
Ometepe tobacco is like way up here. Like if you're getting, I mean, when you go to Nicaragua, the Jalapa and the Ometepe is like lights out good.
That's what I'm impressed by. They were able to get that type of tobacco being
new.
So new.
Yeah, not everybody has access to this. You know, Yanko's talked to me a lot about those particular tobaccos, and they're like your upper echelon.
So I'm not sure who's rolling them for them, but they've done a great job.
So the bourbon. So who's making the bourbon? Where's it made? Do you know?
I have no idea where the bourbon's being made.
Do they sell it anywhere around here?
H&H carries it. We picked up a bottle.
What's the price point on it? Do you know?
About 50 to $60.
Okay. So, and what's the proof? Do you remember?
Most of them were, I seem they'd be 90 to 98.
Okay.
So they weren't
too far off.
Not too far off. And, you know, I don't get any more. I don't get the heat like I do.
Sure.
Less than 100.
You're drinking the top floor tonight.
So
from Benchmark.
Top floor.
There's no heat on that.
No heat.
It's 86. And I'm drinking the 1992. Excuse me, 1792 full proof.
And that's what is 130?
125.
125.
And I'm a big fan. Like I was in Fort Worth last week. I had to go up there for some classes. And so I'd taken a couple of bottles with me, but I was like, there was a goody, like, I don't know, 6 miles from where we were staying. So I went over there just to see what they have, because they always have something. Yeah. And this is actually one of their store picks. And it was $45.
So 1792 is one of my favorite bourbons.
Go to
because I like the oakiness,
but it's so smooth,
and you can't beat the price point.
No, I mean what, $32?
32 to 36. Looking, even their bottle and bond is 36 to $38. You can't beat that.
So the ball and bond and the barrel proof, I find them you don't find them very often.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? But when you do, you should buy it, because they're not going to last long.
I very rarely find a bottle bond, and I look for it everywhere I go.
Yeah.
I travel a lot, so
100%. Hey guys, we're fixing to jump into our segments, but before we do, I want to talk about Rabbit Air. We're sitting here smoking. We got 3 people in here smoking. We got the Rabbit Air on low. It's not smoky in here.
Not at all. Can't even hear it.
And you know, the funny thing is you know what's crazy is it has 4 speeds, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And on 1 and 2, you literally cannot hear it at all. 3, if you're super quiet, hold your breath, you can hear it. On 4, you hear it. It sounds like, you know, there's Eskimos in there just pumping jacks.
Now, you can hear it because we got good microphones.
Well, true.
But honestly, if you're sitting in a room, it's not something that's going to bother you.
And you've been sitting in the room when it's on.
You don't even notice it. Even though it's on the highest level, you really don't.
I've only heard it on 4 because I'm on my headphones, and these, I mean, I hear a pin drop.
Yeah. You don't have to talk over it, even on the highest.
Yeah. So, and when you turn it on 4, like we've had like 5 or 6 people in here smoking, and it's like, okay, it's starting to get a little smoky in here. I turn it on 4, and literally within 3 minutes,
it is clear.
It's clear, and then I usually turn it back down to 3. So if you need air purification, Rabbit Air is your way to go. There'll be a link down in the show notes that'll take you to their website. You can check out what they have, and like, I'm a believer.
I love it.
And you know what I love is not only am I a believer, but everybody who comes over here is blown away that there's no smoke in here.
I've been in cigar lounges where there's 5 or 6 people in a large room, and you're getting smoked out. There's 5 or 6.
I've been in lounges before where you just see it like settles. You know what I mean? At that certain height, and it all just kind of flows across the room, and you're like, holy crap.
Yep.
You're breathing that shit, people. Like, I love puffing on cigars, but I don't want to be breathing what you just puffed out. So anyway, let's jump into our weekly Showcase 6. I'm going to let you go first. You want to review 3 cigars. Now, and the difference is, guys, people are like, hey, why did you quit doing the Pick 6? And we love doing the Pick 6. We did it for 3.5 years. But now we're going to jump into a little bit more of a review of the cigar, and it might not always be a cigar that you enjoyed. Sometimes an experience is not a good experience.
Yep. So I liked when you did the Pick 6. I can pick 6 cigars.
That's easy.
When you narrow it down to 3, that is tough. I can think of 4 that I really like.
And just so you guys know, Sam smokes almost, or if not, the same amount of cigars. That we both smoke a lot of cigars. And what I love about having you on the show is you smoke a lot of cigars I've never had. So listening to your reviews, I'm just like one of the members of the audience. I'm like, oh, tell me about that cigar.
But my top 3 have been cigars that you've given me. El Popo.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have to go with that one. I was really tough. It was my favorite.
That was on my the Maduro top 10 last week.
So it's until I smoke a bunch of them, probably burn myself out because I smoked too many of them. It's going to be up there. That's going to. I'm going to have that.
I think we have one more in the humidor. You take that.
I feel bad.
No, 100%. You know, that's how we roll.
So I'm going to go with El Popo is going to be one of my top 3.
And, you know, the great thing about the El Popo is, I'm going to go ahead and say, you know, Artisanal Tobacco sponsors our show. That's not why we love their cigar. We are very thankful that they sponsor us because we do love their cigars.
Oh, it's great.
But one of the things that we were talking about is they've been around now for over 5 years. They started 5 years ago. And I remember when Billy sent us the pre-blends to try for the Viva La Vidas.
So my first one I tried was a Club 500.
That was your first one.
I know it's a bigger ring gauge. I don't go to
But it's a box press.
It's a box press is the reason I would smoke it. And I literally have bought They only come in a box of 10. So I've bought boxes and boxes of those. I actually, when they said they're probably going to stop making them because they only made 500, it's supposed to be a limited release.
Did you know they just made a 5-year anniversary cigar? The Viva La Vida 5-year anniversary?
No. I actually called Hector and was like, if you find some, bring them and I will buy them. So I prepaid for those before they even got to the shop.
Nice.
I like them so much.
And you know what? I actually love cigar companies that do boxes of 10. Because sometimes I don't want a box of 20.
If I buy a box of 20, I'm giving half of them away.
That's the same here, dude.
Because you don't have a cigar, or I like a cigar, I want you to try it.
And I don't.
You gotta try it.
And you're a lot like me in the fact that we don't like to smoke the same cigar over and over. When you're smoking a lot of cigars every day, you like to change it up.
Box of 10 is perfect. I can smoke those.
And still give a couple away.
Still give a couple away.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, good choice. El Popo. All right, what do you got next?
I was torn between the one I'm smoking now. It's a new cigar. To me, It's got some different flavors in there, some spices. I really do like it. So over placing my second and third one was tough. I'm going to go with this 2020
Okay.
by Hoot & Young.
Well, then I'm excited to keep smoking it.
Now, I smoked the Toro first, and that did have...
Now, which Vitola is this?
This is the Robusto.
And
You
that's
grab
what I'm
Robusto.
smoking. In fact, he's asked me, he's like, which one would you like to have, the Toro or the Robusto? And I was like, dude, do you know me?
I do, but I grabbed one of each just in case.
And I appreciate the option, but I would have been happy to get the Toro, but when I saw the Robusto, I was like, oh, yeah, that's definitely for me.
And then I'm going to go with the Tabanero, 5x42.
Dude, that is lights out a great cigar. If you haven't tried the 5x42 from Tabanero, look in the show notes. We will have a link for them.
I know they're a sponsor, but it doesn't matter. That is a really good cigar.
And a lot of people may not understand this. They may be thinking that we're always just gloating on sponsors because they sponsor the show. That's not how you become a sponsor of this show. The way you become a sponsor is we fall in love with your product first, and then we beg you to sponsor the show.
Pretty much. Tabanero, Yanko kills it.
Because sponsors send us cigars. Well, I don't want somebody sending us crappy cigars. We did that once. We were sponsored by Alpha Dog.
I've never heard of it.
Alpha and then DAWG, I believe. And the logo is like a two-headed pit bull.
I think I've seen those.
And all of their cigars are infused with absinthe. It's disgusting. They sent us 8 boxes of cigars. I gave them away after I tried to smoke 3. And then Bryant tried to give away the rest. I mean, if you get an opportunity to try it, I'd love for you to try it just so you can be on like...
So I can think of 2 shops that I've seen them in.
Oh, really?
Because when you said the double-headed bulldog, that's... Never heard of it before.
All right, so let me jump into my 3 for the week. One, I told you I went to Fort Worth, and I took a lot of good cigars with me because I knew I was going to be spending the evenings on the patio, most likely by myself. And a good friend of mine joined me, but he doesn't smoke cigars. He doesn't drink bourbon. We call that square.
Good friend, a friend.
Long-time friend.
Yeah.
Long-time friend. And I haven't seen this guy in probably, 10 years, 12 years.
Oh, wow.
And so, but back in the day, we used to run around together because the company I work for, we started together the same day. So I've known him a long time. He's never been a smoker. Back in the day when he was a drinker, he was a beer drinker, And, when you're smoking cigars on the patio on a nice evening, you got some music going. Dude, let me tell you about when I travel, like I have a backpack. You see my backpack?
Yeah.
Like, you know what's in that backpack when I go travel? I have a box of cigars. I have a cutter, a lighter, an ashtray. I have a bourbon glass and 2 bottles of bourbon.
I've dug through it.
And
TPE.
I got my Carmen Hardman speaker. So, I mean, I'm set.
So I travel a lot, do a lot of hotels, and I never thought about bringing a Bluetooth speaker. But now that you said you take your Harman Kardon with it, I'm going to start taking a Bluetooth speaker.
Dude, I was on one of the patios, and there was a lot of people out there, and I was playing music that I was enjoying, and I had it at a low, and people were like, hey, turn that up. But then what happened is, there's always these guys that come over and like, hey, man, can you play this? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, no. No.
I've got a playlist going, and I'm not a DJ taking requests. Because, you let that one person do it. Now everybody wants you to play them a song. And I don't like a lot of music other people like because they're young and dumb and listen to what's on the radio. That's not me.
And then I feel like if I start playing other people's songs on my
playlist, then your playlist thinks that shit
that's
like.
what I like, and it's going to start playing stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
I agree 100%. So anyway, all that to be said, I smoked a lot of great cigars, and I smoked the original Opus X on the patio, and I was drinking, the first night I got there, I was drinking the, what's the one with the elephant on the front? You know what I'm talking about, on the barrel? It's made by Old Scout. Contradiction.
I haven't had Contradiction in a long time.
Well, I picked up a bottle on the way out there, and a couple other guys tried it, and they were like, wow, this is good. So Contradiction, if you haven't had it, also a great bourbon.
forgot all about it. I haven't thought about it.
It's one of those bourbons you forget about, but then when you come back to it, you're like, wow, this is good. And it's not really a straight bourbon. It's actually a blended whiskey. But they knock it out of the park.
Not big on blended whiskeys, but that's actually a good blended whiskey.
Same here. And then number 2 for me, I've got to think, because I was going to go with the El Popo, but since you already named that one, I'm not gonna name that too, because I smoked like 3 of those while I was up there. But I smoked a lot of really good sticks, and so the other stick that I smoked was the All Saints Habano.
All Saints Habano.
I think, and I don't remember the Vitola size exactly, but I want to say it was like a 4.5 by 60, but it's a torpedo. And with that torpedo, I don't mind it being a 60.
Yeah, same here.
You know what I mean? If it's just the regular round shoulder, I'm not a big fan. But when you give me the option to cut the torpedo in the actual ring gauge that I prefer, no big deal. But All Saints, like, that's a new cigar for me over the last 6 months.
And the Habano, I love Habanos. I've been on a Habano kick for a little while.
Oh, dude, I love Habanos. That's probably one of my favorites.
So that's a good cigar.
And then this was, well, you know what? I'm gonna do 4 cigars, okay? Because I had somebody send me some cigars, and the name of their company is you remember? Is it Madra? How do you say that in Spanish?
We need our interpreter.
Madra Tierra.
Madre Tierra.
There you go, Madre Tierra. And I smoked the Habano a couple of nights ago, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not a fan of the Vitolas that they sent us. I think they're like 6 by 50. What do you think about 54?
That's probably 52.
Oh, okay.
I'm certain that's a 52.
Okay, 52, which is still big for me,
yeah,
especially if it's not box press. But I was like, all right, well, I'm going to smoke. They sent these to me. I'm going to smoke them, see what we think. And the Habano was really good. But I got to say this, like, a lot of people, I have a feeling that it's geared more towards a newer cigar smoker, because it is a very light cigar. Like, when I say Habano, a lot of the Habanos I like are a medium, maybe a medium plus. And this was like a light plus. So not even a medium. But at the same time, I think it's either for a beginner cigar smoker or a very experienced cigar smoker. And the difference is, when you're in that medium sector, everybody seems to be smoking those like really hardcore, strong cigars. And if that's what you're into, you're probably not going to enjoy it, because I explain it this way. I consider it to be a delicate cigar. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like, when you smoke it, it's so light that it actually makes you think about it. It's like, okay, I'm getting this or I'm getting that. And so I enjoy those. Now, it's not going to be my go-to because it is lighter than what I prefer, but it was a really good smoke. Now, on the flip side, they also, and I haven't even made my way through the selections they sent, but the other one they sent was the San Andreas is the one I have here. And you can see I only made it halfway through. Didn't care for it. When I smoke a San Andreas, there's a certain level of earth tones, spice that I expect, and I didn't get that here at all. It was very bland, and it just wasn't doing much for me.
It does look a little light for a San Andreas as well.
Right on. And, for San Andreas, also the wrapper seems a little thin. You see that?
See, most
San Andreas are a little coarse.
And yeah, they're
Like,
really
that's
toothy.
smooth.
That's smooth. That doesn't, I know they're saying it's San Andreas, but I smoke a lot of San Andreas, and that's not toothy.
Right. When I
Or
get to San
dark.
Andreas, I expect like a rough texture.
A lot of tooth.
And like when you hold a San Andreas up to the light, it's not unusual to see like fine bumps.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
The toothiness.
And so I don't know. I didn't enjoy this one, but I'm not going to. But you know what? Every cigar out there is not going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's not a good cigar. I just didn't enjoy it. So I'm 50-50 right now, and I've still got 4 or 5 more cigars to smoke from them. And so, you know what? I'll update you next week on whatever I smoke between now and then.
Now, I've had cigars that I didn't like the first time,
True.
and it could have just been what I was drinking that day, what I smoked before, retried it.
Now,
Great cigar.
I gave you a couple of their cigars to smoke, or at least one. Did you smoke the Habano by chance?
I did not. Smoked the Blue Band, I believe.
Yeah, and I don't remember which one that was, but if I still have the other Habano in here, I'd like for you to smoke it and give me your feedback on that. Because it is a very, what I consider to be delicate, light cigar, but it was also enjoyable. You know what I mean? I could see you having a cup of coffee with it, and not a bold coffee, something like mellow. Maybe something from Costa Rica where you get a little sweetness.
Okay.
Maybe a Brazilian where you get a little sweetness. I don't think you want to go with something like a
Kenya or
Kenya. Oh, no, not a Kenya for sure. But even like a, well, I can't think of all the coffees right now, but yeah, you get it.
Sumatra or
A Sumatra, or even the Kenya AA, or even maybe the Colombian's too bold.
See, we're blessed with a good cigar shop that has great coffees.
If you're a coffee nut, guys, call The Leaf in Abilene, Texas, and I'll put their number in the show notes. Not only can they get you great cigars, but if you're looking for coffee, their coffee's better than any place I've ever been.
They will ship you coffee along with some cigars, but that's blessing for us because we get to go in and try these different coffees every day. And there's like,
what do they have? Like 15 different blends? And when you go in and sit down, dude, their coffee is $2, and it's for all the coffee you can drink.
And they have the Sumatra, the Kenya, the Costa Rica, the
Brazilian. I mean, all of it. Costa Rican.
Costa Rica.
Puerto Rico. Will you hit that button right there? So the button, there you go. Thank you. So, yeah, call The Leaf. If you're a coffee snob, I promise you will not be disappointed.
That's where we get when we're talking about you should try this kind of coffee. We have that opportunity to go in there. Sometimes, hope Jay doesn't watch this, but the coffee I want for the next day, I'll flip through the little dill and I'll add it to the top.
So you guys know, at The Leaf, the way they do the coffee is they have like 15 cards, and they're just in a stack. And each day they take the top one. That's what coffee they're doing today. And then that card goes to the bottom. Sam goes in there and finds which coffee he wants for the next day and puts it at the top.
I'm like, this is what I'm smoking tomorrow. Gonna smoke a McAuliffe Black. I want some Sumatra with it.
Oh, dude, I gotta go get me some McAuliffe Blacks tomorrow.
They're out.
Oh,
we're waiting.
Someone was asking me online. They're like, "Hey, man, where can I get some of these McAuliffe Blacks?" And I gave them the Leaf's phone number.
I probably bought them all.
Well, asshole!
In a month, I've gone through 2 boxes because I smoke 4, 5, 6 cigars a day. And
it's a go-to.
It's a go-to. I smoke at least one of those, and if I'm coming over here, I usually bring one with me because I'm going to be drinking some bourbon, and that's a great cigar to smoke.
And when you bring it over here, people are fighting over it.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, man, can I get one of those?"
Yeah,
it is a great cigar. So, hey, guys, let's jump into, you know what? While we're talking about one of our sponsors, let's talk about McAuliffe Cigars. I mean, have you smoked the Blue Band?
I have not gotten the Blue Band yet.
Oh, I'm chomping at the bits to do that, dude.
I'm usually around McAuliffe staff enough to be able to try the new ones before they come out.
But they were at PCA, and they've been busy going up to PCA. So, yeah, I haven't been around them lately.
So I have not got the McAuliffe Blue yet.
And so I'm hoping we can get Lauren back down here on the show again in the very near future. Maybe she'll bring us some.
We have to make a trip up there just to
say, you know what? We you know what? Let's book a time and go up and do a show at the headquarters. I bet they would be fine with that.
Oh, yeah. That would be great.
Yeah. And you know what's great? You go in the headquarters and there's cigars everywhere.
Yeah.
So, hey, check out McAuliffe Cigars if you haven't had them. I promise you right now, you will not be disappointed. They have a cigar for everyone, every budget. What's the McAuliffe Black? $8?
$8.75 for
$8.75.
$7.75 for the Robusto.
And it's a knockout. Dude, what is it? The Cigar Authority podcast named the Black their cigar of the year.
It is that good.
So I was online doing a herf last night with some guys, and one of the guys on their Jack's Rocks, he posted a picture smoking the Nestor. What's it
Miranda.
called? Miranda.
So,
and I was like, dude, where did you get that? And he's like, they carry them at my shop. And I was like, holy he's like, dude, I've been smoking those for years.
So when you asked me my top 3, I wanted to put that Nestor Miranda there. I've only had one. Well, 2, technically.
You had the Maduro and the Connecticut, and they only make those 2.
So I need to have it again.
I would, and I would love to have both. the Maduro and the Connecticut to do the same thing and smoke it. And to be honest with you, I think it needs to be with that rum you brought, because to me, that was one of the most perfect pairings I've ever had.
So we're doing our rum tasting next Saturday, and I'm going to do my best to have
Not this Saturday coming, the next.
the 6th.
Oh, that's this Saturday.
It's this Saturday. Supposed to be the first Saturday.
Oh, I was going to say, man, if there's any way I could get Jax to go get us some and send them to us in the mail, but I don't think they'd be here in time.
I'm going to try to get some here in time
Because
we got some good rums lined up. Even Ed brought us a good bottle of Balcones rum.
I didn't know they made rum.
I did not either until Ed
The Texas Bourbon Company makes
walks
rum.
in this morning and hands me a bottle. So here, in case I don't make it Saturday, you can have this bottle.
Try it? Oh, you're saving it for Saturday.
I wanted to. When he left, I wanted to try it, but I was like, I'm going to save it till Saturday.
That would be kind of a dick move to open it before Saturday. So why did he say he might not make it?
It's Ed. He's got a brother-in-law or brother and sister-in-law coming in town. And his brother's, I think he said, a dentist.
Yeah.
So he's not too big on smoking and cigars and stuff.
No.
So if he can't make it, he left the bottle.
I've
for
never
us.
known that his brother came out here to visit, so that's interesting.
I didn't know he had a brother. So
yeah, he's got a brother, and I believe he has a sister as well.
Oh.
So could be wrong on that one. But anyway, guys, let's jump into the winner of the show where we said, hey, send us your Showcase 6. And so congratulations to Michelob. That's the dude's name, Michelob. Isn't that right? Isn't that how you spell it?
that's not in my notes.
No, it's not on yours.
I know.
No, but Michelob, and this is his smoking showcase. And so I'm going to read off his six cigars that he sent us, and which is cool because technically you only have to send us 3. Because I do 3, you do 3, so that's 6. If you're sending us your list, it only has to be 3, but he did all 6.
I'm curious.
La Union by my father.
The Union.
I don't even know that cigar.
I love my father's. I smoke all of my father's.
Now, wait a minute. Maybe he messed up here because the next cigar is the La Union by Tatawahe.
How does he spell it? With the Y?
No, it's Laiunion. I bet that's a... Hey, can you look that up on your phone? Oh, he said it's my father and Tatawahe. I've never heard of this cigar. Oh, you mean they made it together? Oh,
That's why I need to...
Wow, I have never... Hey, Michelob, you just like pulled one over on us because we don't know this cigar.
I don't know if a lot of people know that Tatawa used to be in my father's brand.
I did not know that.
And it was sold to
what's his name?
Pete Johnson.
Yeah.
Right? Pete Johnson.
I did not know that.
So, and I think they still...
Well, they got to still be friends.
Roll most of their... Yeah, so...
And is Tatawahe made at my father's factory?
That's what I've heard. And I've met Pete Johnson one time. I didn't know I was talking to the guy. And a little later,
I heard
hey,
he's
did you meet
tall.
Pete? Yeah. They're like, oh, I was just talking to him forever about Tatawa cigars. I met his brother, just recently back in November at a Cut and Light.
Okay.
He's got his own brand. La Tier.
So I'm a huge fan of Tatawahe.
I love Tatawas.
Like, I wish we had more access to those locally.
They don't sell in Abilene, Texas.
I know.
So
You know, whenever the Leaf carried them for years back on the previous owner, whenever we changed the guard, so to speak, and Jay took over, he did a blowout sale on them, and I was buying them up by the bunches.
I feel like I bought the last 2 less than a year ago that were sitting up on the shelf that had been sitting there for years. So
What Vitola size was it? Do you remember?
It was probably
Because, you know, the Lanceros, the monsters,
mm-hmm.
like I never smoked any of those just because I've never been a big fan of Lanceros.
It was probably a 5.5 or 6 inch by maybe a 45, 46.
Oh, dude.
46.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever...
Have you ever had the Series P?
Oh, the Series P is amazing. And it's
a budget stick.
It's their budget stick.
Now, have you ever had the Fausto?
I don't know. I'd have to see the band on it or
So
something.
the Fausto is a black band with a red
the red.
stripe and a red dot on the front.
So I've bought several of those.
Great stick.
And I brought some from Carlos too to smoke.
Yeah, that's a great stick. And I haven't experienced a lot of their cigars, but the ones I've had, I've loved them.
I grabbed the Series P for the first time. Good Karma in Lubbock. And then I couldn't stop smoking them. I smoked those the rest of the night.
So Big Adam, he recommended those to me. And so I bought a box. Since then he recommended it to me, I think I've bought like 3 or 4 boxes.
I need to get a box.
They're a good one. Next time I see them, I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right. So the next one is his next pick is the Dunbarton Sombramiso Brulee. I mean, we know
Brulee.
that is a lights out cigar.
Love it.
Good choice, man. The next one is Dunbarton Sombramiso Grand How you say that last word? We're going to let a real Mexican.
That's the new Grand Imperialis. Is that the green? I think that's the new green band.
I haven't had it.
So they got the Sober Mesa Blue,
Mm-hmm.
and then a regular Sober Mesa, just the gold band. And I think that's a re-release with the green band.
Okay.
And I've had it before, but I don't remember. I've smoked so many since then.
Sure.
So I've been looking for that release.
Okay. I haven't had it. So you know what? Michelob, I'm going to put that on my list. Here's an interesting pick for his next one, and I actually kind of like it. Even though I don't like the cigar, I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm not a fan. But he says the Factory Smoke Maduro.
Okay.
If you're looking for a budget stick and it doesn't make you puke.
I've picked up a couple just to give it a try.
Wasn't for you.
Wasn't for me, but I grabbed it
but at
because
the price point.
I was going to be outside at softball. And if I didn't finish it,
so
it doesn't matter. I'll put it out.
For a cigar like that, you know what I think for me, value-wise, it would actually be? From time to time, not often, I will actually chew on a cigar. You ever do that?
So recently I bought a cigars with family. We're driving. I decided
So you're not smoking.
I'm not going to smoke it. I figured I'd grab a cigar to chew on. That's a lot of nicotine.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like taking a plug of J.R. Ewing's whatever.
I was about an hour in, and I had to, like...
You get more nicotine. Yeah.
I was going to puke. I was like, we got to stop. I got to get a drink or something.
The thing about it is, you don't realize it, but you're generating a lot of saliva, and it's mixing with that flavor, which is amazing, and then you're swallowing it.
Yep.
So you're taking in the tobacco nicotine in a much purer form. Yeah. So for me, I don't know. Maybe I would take a factory smoke and chew on it.
I'm going to try that.
I think that might be something I could do. Here's his last one. It's the La Perla Habano Classic Cameroon. That's another one I don't know.
I've smoked some La Perlas, but I've never seen a Cameroon.
So
I'm not a Cameroon.
I'm going to read off his notes right quick, and then we'll jump into it. So while enjoying a 3-hour smoke of the La Union, my father, I just got a dab of citrus. And after I lit it up, after that, just reminded me of my father's cigar, which I really enjoyed. I also got some leather and wood notes, which I seem to like. For how long it took me to smoke, the price was on point.
So I'm curious about the 3 hours. How?
Like I can do a cigar for 3 hours if I'm yakking.
Yeah.
If I'm talking a lot, I might not know. Like this cigar's probably out right now because I've been yakking. But also on the flip side, Hatch was over here last Friday, I think, and I was like, "Hey, I'm proud of you. Look, you're slowing down a little bit." And she's like, "I'm trying."
She did. She slowed down. She normally smokes 3 to my 1.
Dude.
Easily.
Dude, I give her an El Popo, and I look over, and 30 minutes in, she's like 3/4 of the way done. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. But I think she was dead set on that night to be able to smoke the 3 cigars, at least, that she had. So even at a later hour.
My ass, she got those out of the special cookie jar. even Carlos was like, whoa.
Yeah, and then she's lit another one up as I was leaving. I was like, oh, I'm impressed. You're going to stay later than you normally do. It's past your bedtime.
Yeah, for real. So anyway, here's the next one. It says, Well, wait a minute. He says the La Union for my father, and then he goes on to say the La Union for Tatawahe, on the other hand, didn't sit too well with me. I wanted to end it, but it kept smoking. It was a nice day. The sun was shining, and I was building some Legos. And I felt like it was smoking a Veracruz Blue for 3 hours. I enjoyed Tatawahe often. It's just this one was way too long of a smoke for me. I'm not mad at the price either. It was a long smoke.
Okay.
And Tatawahe is usually not one of your cheaper brands,
No.
but they are in the category you get what you pay for.
But I like how he explains his environment, because that's a big deal on what I'm smoking and if it's going to be a good cigar. Because
100%. Well, that's one of the reasons I picked his out of the people who came in, because he also set the stage. And because your environment and the way you're going to smoke a cigar plays into the way you enjoy that cigar so much. All right. Then one morning, I enjoyed a Dunbarton Somber Mesa with some coffee. The creaminess and chocolate I get from the cigar pair well with the coffee and vanilla creamer I use. I mean, yeah, you can't beat that.
No.
Like, I don't do creamer. I like my coffee black. But what I would say to that is, for me, the Dunbarton Somber Mesa is fantastic with a Costa Rican cigar, a Puerto Rican cigar, because you get that sweetness. Yeah, I said cigar on the coffee end. Yeah. When you get those, like, what do you call it? The islands in that area, you get a lot of sweetness. Yep. And so I dig that cigar with that. And then he comes back and says, I smoked the Dunbarton Somber Mesa Grand Imperialis, whatever that says, later that evening. And I'm glad I did. To me, that was a stronger stick, full of smoke. I don't really know what notes we're getting because I got the hiccups.
Oh.
Have you ever had the hiccups while you're smoking a cigar?
It was one time, and it
ruins it for me.
It was Padermo's.
Oh, really?
I got the sweats. That's the only time I've been nicotine sick.
Really?
But I left Abilene, big breakfast. Thought I was good when I got to sit with Nick Padermo. And he said, hey, I heard you don't like Connecticut's. You got to try one of mine. So I smoked a Churchill 20th anniversary. Then I smoked a 12-year. And then I was like, I should get some food. And I was like, no, I can have one more. And I had the ESV Connecticut.
Oh, well, dude, that's where you made your mistake.
And then
ESVs were much stronger.
I walked outside. I got the sweats, the cold, the hiccups. I booked it over at QT, got me a Snickers and a Coke, came back.
That's the only time you've ever got the cold sweats?
Yeah.
So I've had it actually twice. The first time I was working and I had to go out on location and meet some employees, but it was outside and I was going to have to be waiting there for like an hour and a half before they got there. So I always carry a camping chair in the back of my car, whipped it out, sat down, and it's like 7 a.m. I light up a LFD Cabinet 6.
Cabinet 6.
And I was enjoying it. And I got about maybe half, maybe a little bit more than that. And all of a sudden I was like, whoa, wow, I'm
early in the morning.
I'm a little woozy. And so I thought, well, it's probably because I didn't eat. And it's early.
Yeah.
And then the next time was in the middle of the afternoon down at the Leaf. I was smoking a 1926 number 9. And just out of nowhere, all of a sudden, I start getting that woozy. I start getting the cold sweats. And Jay's like, hey, you want a sucker? Because, sugar helps. And I was like, nah, man, I want to enjoy this ride. This is so rare for me that I want to experience it full force. And so I just kept on smoking it. And even though it was like really giving me a buzz and that almost, it's not a nauseousness, but it is like a little, your stomach starts feeling a little uneasy. And so anyway, let's get back to what else he said. Here's on the factory smoke. He says, I tried a factory smoke Maduro. It was going all right until halfway point. Then it tasted like ammonia. So I tossed it. Not mad, only because the price. And here's the thing about that. I applaud you for smoking something cheap. I applaud you for giving it a go. And the ammonia part is because, factory smokes, they don't age them at all.
No.
They're not done fermenting. Like if you do a retrohale on something like that, the ammonia is just going to like make your nostrils on fire. And then down to the last one, he says, I also enjoyed the La Perla Habano Classic Cameroon. It's an enjoyable stick to me. One day at the car show, while burnouts and donut smoke tainted the air, I got a whiff of one of these. I asked the dude about the stick. He gave me one. I got the taste and smell of the burnout rubber out of my mouth, and now it's one of my faves, and it also has a good memory to go with it.
So I'm going to have to retry that one because he says Habano Cameroon.
Yeah.
So I need to look at the blend on that one because that sounds pretty damn good.
I'm like, I've smoked some La Perla before, and they've always been pretty good sticks. They're budget friendly, but I don't think I've ever had the Habana Cameroon. And it says the Habana Classic Cameroon. So anyway, he goes on to say, be safe and have fun, Michelob. And then he says, P.S., some crazy weather balloon type thing just flew over Phoenix, Arizona. Might be the zombies, 3/18/24. This is also my first attempt at reviewing and sending an email. Not sure if I'm doing it right. Dude, you killed it. You killed it. If you guys want to have a shot, send us your picks. You only have to do 3. He went on and did more than that, but hats off. I thought this was lights out, a great review, and I appreciate you taking the time to send it to us. So let me show you what you're going to get, bro.
And gave me 2 cigars that I need to try.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the reasons we want to do it, because we love hearing from what other people are smoking. So here's the stickers that you'll get. I don't know if you can see those, but you have a couple of Cigar Talk stickers. You have the little Rob Jones sticker, the little one there. And then you will also get the Jerkins sticker. And then on top of that, we're going to send you one of the Cigar Talk poker chips, which you can see right here. On the back, you'll see that one has a QR code. We have a bunch of different ones, so I can't promise you which ones you'll be getting. This one's the one you'll be getting, Michelob. And then what did I do with that damn coin I just had here a while ago?
Did you have the big Cigar Talk one?
Oh, there it is. And then we have the challenge coin. Booyah.
That's badass.
That's badass. These are hard to get. We don't just give these out willy-nilly. It's got the blue classic logo on the front, and then on the back, it's all polished nickel. So anyway, Michelob, we appreciate you taking the time to do all this. And for everybody else that sent one in, we appreciate you too. Keep sending them in. We love seeing what you guys are smoking. And so congratulations, Michelob. Thank you. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be talking about bourbon tastings. And we got some really good information on a couple of bourbons here. You're not going to want to miss that. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey, guys, thanks for hanging through the break. The funny thing is, I was thinking, the break for everybody who's watching the show is usually like 8 to 15 seconds, but the break here in the studio is like, an hour?
Yep.
So we have a little more bourbon. We have a few more cigars. And so while we were on break, Sam gave me the Operation Gothic Serpent. Were you able to ask him about the name of this cigar by chance?
So all the cigars named over certain operations that they had, oh, there you go. Military operations. So like this one is the Operation Gothic Serpent, which was the 1993 Battle of Mogadishu.
Oh, no way.
So all of them usually commemorate something with the military and a big military operation. So like they had like...
And right here it says on here 25th.
5th.
And what is that? What is that? The year?
Oh, it's 25 years since. So it's 1993. So this came out in 2023. I don't know.
Something around there.
Yeah.
But that's just the cigar to commemorate what happened.
What happened there.
That's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate like everything they do is like in a theme for a reason.
Yes. And the boxes all have, a theme to them too. The boxes are actually pretty nice.
Okay. Well, you're wearing one of their shirts. You're wearing their hat. I love that freaking hat. I don't wear hats, but that's a badass hat.
It's a badass hat.
Yeah.
So this wasn't planned today. I put this on. I had a different shirt on this morning. It rained. I got soaked. I ran inside, grabbed first shirt I grabbed out of the closet because I just got washed over the weekend.
Well, I told you last night I didn't go to bed till 5 a.m. this morning. So I didn't get up till like noon.
Yeah.
But I stayed up late last night. I have a lot of problems with insomnia, and I was off work. And so I watched a movie. Have you seen The Burial?
I have not seen The Burial.
It's Jamie Lee Fox. Is it Jamie Lee Fox or just Jamie Fox? I think it's just
Jamie Fox.
And Tommy Lee Curtis. No, is that right? No, Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. I saw the previews to it.
Good movie.
It's
not going to win an Academy Award, but it was a good movie. A lot of stuff in there that you don't know about, and it's like, holy crap, there you go. I'm all for capitalism.
Yeah.
What I'm not for is monopolyism. You know what I mean? It's like, make the playing field fair. Anyway, they deal with a lot of that in that movie. That's why I brought it up. But if you haven't seen it, it's a good watch. Anyway, guys, we're going to jump into our bourbon tasting. And so I've got two bourbons here, and I was drinking one of them earlier tonight, the 1792 barrel proof. And this bottle that we happen to have here tonight is a store pick from Goody Goody. And I'm a fan of Goody Goody. Like, they have some really good prices on their bourbon, first of all. They have a lot of good selection. There was actually a few different bottles I was looking at, and I ended up going with the barrel proof on the 1792. And I also picked up a bottle of Ball and Bond from Benchmark.
Okay.
It's like, you know what? For both those bottles, I was under $70.
Perfect.
So anyway, talking about this 1792, and I'll tell you right now, we both are big fans of just the regular 1792.
Huge fan of 1792.
On average, you'll find it from $32 to $35. And to me, like, there's a few bourbons that I consider to be like the standard.
1792 is one of them.
I think like Elijah Craig, small batch, standard.
Elijah Craig, 1792, Woodford, standards.
And so I also took with me part of the bottle that Carlos had brought over here, the Woodford Reserve. It's like, that's a standard.
Yep.
Like, if you give me those bottles, I know what I'm going to get because they are just so good, and they're under $40.
So I find myself judging other bourbons
Buy those.
because those are good bourbons.
If I spend $50 or $60 and it's not as good as those we just named, it's like, that's no longer on my list. No. Like, if you can't be at least Elijah Craig or 1792, there's a few other ones that are going to be in there. It's like, yeah, those your $32 to $35 bourbon, that's your standards. That's where the bar is set.
But even their bottle and bond, they're foolproof. You're under $50 still.
And you're getting a premium. It's like, if I consider Elijah Craig to be the standard or 1792 to be a standard, and then you give me their barrel proof or their ball and bond, and it's still under $50, that's a premium that is like lights out bargain value.
Mm-hmm.
And so hats off to these guys. But anyway, a few things you might not know about the 1792 barrel proof is, first of all, it is distilled with a old process, and it says the 1792 barrel proof goes through the distinct filtering process, foregoing the typical chill filtration.
Oh.
And so they don't chill it. It just passes through the plate and frame filter. So they're not chilling it, which, if you're going to do barrel proof, you want to keep it at what it comes out of the barrel. And so this allows the bourbon to maintain a robust proof for bottling as well as a rich, bold flavor. Bottled at its original 125 barrel proof, entry proof, 1792 has been doing this for years. And so, Like, I've had the 1792 Ball and Bond and the Full Proof. I don't know if they have, and I'm sure they have some other special bottles I've never had, but those 3 bottles, all 3 of them, the regular, the Ball and Bond, and the barrel proof, lights out good. And it's all under $50.
Yep.
The next one is going to be, I wanted to tell you about a couple of the awards that the 1792 barrel proof got. I don't know if you ever heard of Jim Murray's Whiskey Whiskey Bible.
I don't think I have. I don't think I've.
So he's pretty famous, and in 2020, he named the 1792 Full Proof Bourbon the best whiskey in the world in 2020. Like, that's an accomplishment. And I went to this guy's website. If you're looking for some like really good, like really deep reviews of bourbon, this dude, Jim Murray, he's been around the block a while. And so if you want to find out, like, you know, there's a million people doing bourbon reviews.
Oh, yeah.
But this dude's been around for a long time. He does the Whiskey Bible. And then also in 2020, the Ultimate Spirits Challenge, this was rated as a 92 on their scale. And they said that it was one of the highest recommended bourbons for $45. I mean, dude, when you're knocking out accolades at that level for $45,
I've spent $70, $80 plus.
I've spent $100 before and been like, I mean, it was good, but there wasn't anything special about it.
What gets me is you get these local people starting up different bourbons and stuff. And
You ever had Arrow 13?
Yeah, and they're charging. It's not.
That was garbage.
I'm picking up them a lot.
That was garbage. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next one. And just so you know, the barrel proof 1792 is phenomenal. The next one is what I'm drinking now, and it is the Benchmark Top Floor. So the Benchmark has, like, for me, come out of nowhere. I didn't know about it.
I didn't know about it. I ended up grabbing a bottle. I came here, and Carlos told me y'all tried every one of them. Literally that week that I learned about it.
I bought all the bottles they make except for the old number 8. And I've heard that it's not good. And the people that told me that, I value their opinion. So, and it's only like, what, $10? But I'm like, all right, well, you know what? $10 is probably going to tell me it's not very good.
I'm hooked on the Top Floor and the Bonded.
Those two, like, we've tried the single barrel, the full proof, and they were okay. But if I'm going to drink the Benchmark, I'm going to go with the Top Floor or the Ball and Bond. Those two, to me, had the flavor.
The flavor, exactly.
And I mean, when I'm drinking bourbon and I'm smoking cigars, that's what I want, is I want the flavor. And so anyway, just in case you don't know, the Benchmark is made by Sazerac, and it's distilled and processed at the Buffalo Trace Distillery. So, I mean, you've already got the pedigree right there. With the Top Floor, you're going to get a subtle sweetness, little baking spice, followed with flavors of butterscotch and oak. And I get those.
I'm getting those. I'm drinking that now.
And I think for me, maybe I'm confusing a little bit with the butterscotch, which is what the professionals said, with a little bit of vanilla. Like I get a little bit of vanilla with that too. Then also for accolades, the 2023 Ultimate Spirits Challenge, it was rated 92.
This Top Floor?
Top Floor, a 92 rating. And what are we paying for that? $14?
$13.99.
$13.99, dude. So if you haven't tried this one, and also, just so you know, in 2019, they got the silver medal at the New York World Spirits Competition. And in 2019, they also got the silver outstanding in whiskeys of the world. So when you're paying $14 for bourbons that are winning awards, and yeah, they didn't get top honor, they didn't get the gold medal, but they got silver. At $13.99?
Okay, they got silver. How many other bourbons are out there? And they were at
thousands.
And they were able to top those.
Thousands. And How many of those bourbons that were out there cost 2 or 3 times as much and didn't even get close?
All of them?
A lot.
I don't know anything else that price that's that good.
No, 100%. Hey guys, so that's our 2 bourbons of the week. And so if you haven't tried them, we would love to hear your review of those if you do get a chance. And then also, here's our next topic. We're going to talk about the travel destinations for cigar smoking. And so right out the gate, I'm going to go with Las Vegas. And so we had a little bit of a discussion before the show with one of our audience members, Carlos. And he was like, well, I don't know that Las Vegas is a good place to go for smoking cigars. And so for me, I automatically said, it all depends on what you're going to Vegas for. You know what I mean? If you're going to gamble, you're going to see shows, okay, well, that doesn't really constitute a good cigar destination. But if you are going in the spring or the fall and you can sit outside on a patio drinking bourbon, and most of the hotels are cigar friendly.
Absolutely.
We stayed at the Strat back in January. We could smoke cigars pretty much anywhere we wanted except for in our room. And I
thought about it.
You know what I did when I was there? I didn't smoke in the room, but I did go out in the hallway.
Okay.
And that's not allowed either. No. But I was like, well, if it's in the hallway, they won't know it came from my room.
So,
but then I looked up and there was cameras in the hallway.
When I think about travel destinations, and you mentioned Las Vegas, a lot of people, me, for example, I travel Las Vegas a lot. My wife drags me there. We go there for weddings. We go there just to get away. But even though you're not going there for cigars, it's good to talk about because a lot of people smoke cigars, go there,
and they
find themselves there.
And if you're not smoking at your hotel or at a casino, they also have some really good lounges. The 8.
The 8 was a great lounge.
I love going to the 8.
I was blown away. Live DJ, great bar selection.
Good bar selection.
Several separate rooms for your privacy. Great outdoor seating.
Yeah, and the outdoors where I like to hang out. And so we were out there, and even though it was in, February, it wasn't that bad.
No, and that's located.
And they had like fire pits outside. They had above those like 6 foot or probably 7 foot tall heaters. And so it was very comfortable.
And that's located in the World Resort.
Yeah, yeah.
So I didn't know about it.
Did you go into the humidor while you were there?
I did go into humidor.
And did you see on the left wall, on both sides, on the left and right, they have lockers. Mm-hmm. Did you look at any of the lockers?
I didn't look at the lockers.
Michael Jordan's got a locker.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
You know what number it is? 23.
So, and one thing about that cigar lounge, when you walk up to be able to go in, there's a little wall and there's a little tiny door. You ring that bell and the doors opens up and they give you a free cigar.
Oh, 100%.
So I grabbed 2 cigars before I even went in that were free. And I did purchase one there. Prices, yeah, it's Vegas.
I would say their prices are about 25% over.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And I mean, but you're in Vegas.
You're in Vegas.
You know what I mean? And I mean, it's not like there's a cigar lounge on every corner, so you're going to pay a premium.
Yep.
Michael Jordan has a locker there. You're going to pay a premium.
And drink prices were not too bad.
I didn't think the bourbon was bad at all. No. I mean, dude, we were at the Strat, and I bought 4 doubles, and it was $160.
And I feel like at the 8, the prices were actually a little lower than the Strat.
I agree 100%. So anyway, Vegas is one of them. Now, for me, this is very specific because this is one of my favorite places to go. But I would say that it would cover a lot of places that are mountain retreats. But for me, because it's not that far, is Ruidoso, New Mexico. If you go anytime between late spring and early fall, the weather is absolutely amazing. And I don't know about you, but I am more of a mountain guy than I am a beach guy.
I'm more of a mountain, trees. I do enjoy the beach, but I'm more of a mountain guy.
Now, do you enjoy the beach because of the scenery also?
Well, yeah. Wife's not.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
With the mountains, though, man. when I come out in the morning and I go out on the back patio with a cup of coffee, and it's like you breathe in that fresh mountain air. There's nothing like it.
And that's what we talk about a lot about cigars, the environment.
The environment.
I could have a really good cigar in a really shitty environment, and it's just a cigar.
Well, you could have a mediocre cigar.
Beautiful view, crisp air in the morning, and man, it's the best cigar I've ever had.
So whenever I used to go more often, but Tim had a condo up in the Ruidoso, and it was on a country club golf course. And so we would get up in the morning, it'd be like 8:30, 9 o'clock, make some coffee, go out on the back patio, smoke a cigar, have coffee. And it was just so good. And then we would go play golf, and we'd smoke cigars the whole time we're playing golf.
You can't do that in Texas.
No.
100 degrees at 8 in the morning.
But I remember this one hole. Well, this one hole, I think it was like hole number 3, maybe number 4, but you're up on this tee box, and the entire fairway is just down. And at the very bottom, it's like 400 yards, but you're going down. So, it's not a long 400 yards, but down when you're on the tee box and you're looking down the fairway, at the bottom, you see this green, and then there's these trees growing up around the green, but over the top, because you're such a higher elevation, behind the green is just beautiful mountain range. And it was like, holy crap, that's awesome. And so we played that hole, and then we played another hole that was coming back the other way. And I realized I had set my cigar down at the tee box at the previous hole. So we went back and got my cigar and just started over. It was like, hey, ain't nobody behind us. But it was a great time. So, and the other thing I want to say about Ruidoso is if you are a cigar smoker or even a pipe tobacco smoker, there's a place called Turkey Foot Pipe Works. And it's not going to be an elaborate cigar shop, but they have plenty of premium cigars to choose from and a big selection of pipe tobacco. And here's something that most people don't know is Turkey Foot Pipe Works was the inception of Cigar Talk. So me and Tim were there. And so that's where Cigar Talk started, not as a podcast, but as a blog. And so we went there, we met the owners. They were super cool. In fact, one of the owners, Billy Tuinstra, I don't know if I said that name right, but he actually carves his own pipes.
See, that's something I'd be interested in.
Dude, and he's got some badass pipes.
I have a lot of pipes, Savinelli's, Ashtons, but when you get something hand carved,
right, you're not going to, this is a one-off.
That's a one-off. It's going to mean something.
And so, the other cool thing I bought there was a tabletop cutter. The big blocks that have the arm that goes down, and it has 4 different cuts.
Yep.
I bought there, it was $75. I think now they're like $125. But anyway, yeah, if you're in Ruidoso, New Mexico, go by Turkey Foot Pipe Works and check it out. I mean, down home people.
Yeah.
And so anyway, the last one on our list, and I've never been there, but it's one of my goals to go, is Tampa, Florida, and Ybor City. It's like Tampa was one of the early cities in America that was known for cigars. Like that's where you went. That was the cigar haven, was Tampa.
I want to go there for the cigars, but I also want to go down for the food. The cuisine.
Yeah. They have tons and tons of Latin American restaurants where you're getting the real deal.
And there's actually, I've heard there's actual restaurants that actually have their own cigars that are blended just for them. So
you get to eat a great meal and then afterwards enjoy a blend that was made for that cuisine.
Something you're not going to find in your local shop.
100%. And then also, if you're in Ybor City, you got to go by and see Tabanero. That's where Tabanero is. And so you go by their shop, I'll tell you straight up, they have amazing cappuccino. And then they have Cuban rollers in their shop rolling cigars every day, all day long. So, and you might run into Yonko, depending on if he's in Nicaragua or in the States. If he's in the States, you'll get to meet that dude. Every time I see Yonko, you know what song I hear in my background? ZZ Top, Sharp Dressed Man.
Man, he is sharp dressed.
I mean, that dude looks like...
And when he told me his age,
Dude.
I was blown away. I was 45. I was like,
I thought he was older, not because he looks older, but because he carries himself
distinguished.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see a lot of 40-year-old dudes that look distinguished.
That majestic
Yeah.
mustache and beard.
All right, guys, we're going to shift gears here, jump into the accessories for every cigar enthusiast. And so you guys know the gist. You know, we got humidors, we got cutters, we got lighters, but there's a few other ones maybe you don't know about. Like, Case Elegance, they have the Klaro Valet. And so it's like a little box you put in your humidor, and it connects to your phone, and you know what your humidor's at
all times,
wherever you are. And you can set it up it will send you a alarm message if it dips below where you want it to be, or if it goes higher. And so I've had one that was the Butler. I'm going to get one of the Valets. And I think that is when I go out of town.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I have 3 humidors, and I would like to know if one of mine drops.
Now, let me tell you this too. So on a lot of humidors, I know some of the ones I bought in the past, the hygrometers suck. They're pieces of shit.
You don't ever use the one that comes with the humidor.
If you were using the one that came with it, most likely it's a piece of crap. Especially if it's the
if
analog.
It's not Case Elegance.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's not Case Elegance,
but they sell their hygrometers.
Oh, yeah.
So you can buy their hygrometer, put it in your freaking humidor. Even if it doesn't have the cutout like they make for their own, you can put it in there just so you know.
I keep one. I have a larger humidor. I keep one on the top shelf and one on the bottom because there's going to be a difference.
Oh, 100%. Then let's talk about cutters, lighters. We all got them, but what makes one better than the other?
So this was one that you mentioned, cutters. Everybody always asks, what's the best cutter?
And a lot of that's going to be preference.
That's preference. Myself, I'll do a V cut, but I like a Calibri V cut because it's a deep V cut. I've tried several different V cuts.
You know, I used to be a huge fan. In fact, I have a Calibri deep V cut.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really do a lot of V cuts anymore. That's just my own personal preference.
I've shifted to straight cuts.
That's where I'm at. And I mean, I've got a cheap Zycar.
Cheap Zycar.
This is a gift from AJ Fernandez. They sent us this one. And you know what? This is probably, a $30 cutter?
Yep. But it's got great blades.
Great blades, and it's just a simple little cut. And then I've also got the other one that's, I don't remember who makes it, but it's also just a straight cut. And I love a straight cut.
So this was a gift from Jay at the shop. It was something they got before ordering cigars. And I feel like I've been using this nonstop. It's small, light, fits in your pocket, doesn't bother.
Yeah, and it's just easy to carry. And so you know what? This one right here is usually in my backpack. This one always stays with my other lighter, and so it's in my backpack. So whenever I go out of town, I always have it.
Mm-hmm. And I got some expensive cutters. I don't carry them. I go to so many cigar shops. I come here. I leave stuff. I lose stuff. Can't go wrong with this. I lose it, I'm out.
Yeah, and you know what the funny thing is? I've had this for
it's lasted longer.
I've had this for 2 years. I don't lose it.
Yeah.
I've actually lost. You know what? You remember the Zycar, the round ones? What are they called? The XOs?
XOs.
I've bought 4 of those, and I don't know where any of them are. So it's funny because those you think I would hang on to, and the cheap $30 one I would lose.
Because you don't care about it, so it just keeps showing up.
I don't know where the other ones are. They're probably in here somewhere in the sofa or something. But anyway, lighters. Like what makes a lighter a good lighter for you?
Man.
I mean, reliability is top notch. You gotta have reliability.
But tank size makes a difference. Something not too bulky. You can get some big Zycar lighters that are bulky.
Let me just tell you this, though.
Small tanks.
Let's flip that around. Tank size is relative. And what I mean by that is, look at this nice little, I mean, that's thin. And the tank size is not very big on it, but it says a small single flame, so it doesn't need a big tank.
Absolutely.
If you've got a triple torch or a quad torch, you better have a big tank like this. That's
4.
Yeah, and I think this is 3? Yeah. So if you got a 3 or 4, you're going to want a big tank. I remember back in the day, I bought a Cigar that was for high elevation. I don't know if you ever saw one of that, but it had the smallest little tank. And when I was smoking 8 cigars a day, no shit, it would be like maybe a day and a half. Every day and a half, I would have to fill it. And I hated that lighter. I was like, who wants to be always worried about if you're going to run out?
So I have the Zippo insert, double flame. The Zippo double flame insert. And I can get 3 or 4 cigars in, but then I'm refilling it. It's usually when I've just toasted the foot of a cigar, it runs out, then I'm going to fill it. So I'm actually messing up on me. I'm going to go to the single flame. Hopefully that.
Because it'll last longer.
Last longer, and you, man, touch-ups, you can't beat the single flame.
And that's one of the favorite things I like about this one. And this was from Visol. They gave us this at TPE, and I'm a fan of this lighter. I love the way the striker is. It's just that one little lever. But, dude, we've had this for a few months. And dude, you fill this up, and if you smoke every day and you use this half the time, it'll last a week, at least.
We talk about that sucker all the time.
Yeah, I don't use it all the time, but, you know, and then you get these lighters. I don't even know who makes this one. It's called the Flame Bird. But, I mean, it's a cheap lighter. I think I paid maybe $15 for it, but it works.
They have their places. $15 lighters have their places.
And so whenever I see these lighters, in fact, dude, I got to show you these lighters over at Atlantic Cigar because I'm a VIP member. They have, I'll show them to you, but I don't remember who makes them, but it's the lighter that looks flat. It's thicker, but it actually has like this
on the side.
$6.99 a piece.
Holy crap.
I was like, dude, I'm going to buy 3 of those just
it out
because, I mean, if they're shit, who gives a shit? So, but anyway, we also requested this week, and we'll see if we get them, but there's a company that called Fuego Lighters, and they make they make an electric cigar lighter. And Zycar used to make one, and it was pretty pricey, and so I never bought one just because I was like, I don't know about going electric. But I was reading the reviews on this Fuego, and a lot of people loved it, and, you know, you recharge it. And, you know, like some of those other ones I've got that you recharge, but you don't have to refill it.
So what I'm curious about, yes, you can get your cigar lit. How's it going to work when it comes to relighting your cigar if it goes out?
That's a very interesting part. So
think about that, Tom.
I sent them a message. Hopefully they'll send us one. Let us try it out. We'll review it on the show.
I'll give it a try.
But it's something completely different. Like I've never tried anything like that. I mean, and I've used matches. I've lit cedar sticks on fire, and I use Bics.
We've had to use Bics in Vegas.
In fact, someone sent me a message the other day, and they're like, "Hey, do you think I can take the lighter like what you have? It's a soft flame. Can I take that on the airplane?" And I said, "Here's my policy on that. When I fly, take a Bic. I don't want to take anything that I don't want to lose."
Now, the one you gave me from TPE, it looks just like a Bic lighter.
Oh, yeah.
I set that sucker right in the tub so they could see it. I figured if they're going to take it, they're going to take it. It went right through.
They didn't know.
That lighter. They didn't know. It's a great lighter.
But in general, my rule is if I don't want to lose it,
don't lose it.
I'm not taking it. And I have lost some nice lighters. So anyway, let's jump into some other choices here. When it comes to cigar accessories you need, everybody knows you need a humidor. And let me give you some advice on a humidor. If you're really like thinking that you're starting to get into cigars, a 20 or 30 count cigar humidor is not enough.
No.
Like you think it is. And somebody that a friend of mine gave me some advice whenever I bought my first humidor. He's like, dude, don't waste your time on buying a 30 count. He said, you're going to outgrow that so freaking fast.
You buy one box of cigars and you have no room for anything else.
Right.
And you're going to buy one box of cigars.
And so my first one was 100 count. And I was appreciative of that advice. But when it comes to humidors, you guys know who we love. Case Elegance, all the way. They do humidors. They do travel cases. They have the desktop. They have some like custom badass humidors you're not going to find anywhere else. But then also they have the acrylics. And Hatch has one of the acrylics, and she's like, by far, this is my favorite humidor I've ever had. So now I'm like, I got to get one of the acrylics. So anyway, if you need some humidors, look down in the show notes. And I mean, they have travel humidors, they have regular humidors, they have cutters, they have lighters, they have everything you need.
And cigars.
Can't beat that. Are you aware that I believe... I'll see if I have it, if it's ready, but in the show notes, look down. Cigar Talk is now doing we have 3 different 5-pack samplers.
I know you've mentioned that.
And so you'll see on the list. And before these go out, all of us are going to look at them and we're going to say what we want to be in the packs. And so there's going to be different levels of packs. It's like if you want the, medium plus up to full strength, we're going to have a pack. If you want an everyday smoke, we're going to have a pack. If you want more of the, delicate, medium, whatever, we're going to give you some of those. So we're going to have 3 different cigar pack samplers. And so look for that. If they're ready by the time this show comes out, we will have a link in the show notes. If not, it'll be next week. And then also, you know what a big one for me is? Ashtrays. Dude. There are certain qualities of an ashtray that makes a good ashtray. I can't stand shallow ashtrays.
I can't stand ashtrays that have the slanted where your cigar slides in as soon as you set it down.
Oh, I don't like that. In fact, I like a big wide one that I can just set it down in.
That one.
You know what I mean? This was one of the very first cigar ashtrays I bought. And then the other one I have that is the Alec Bradley. Mm-hmm. You've seen it? Like it only has 3 feet, but it's a nice deep and it's got a nice ledge. So it's like if you're shallow or if the little part that holds your cigar is like only like this big, so your cigar is always going to tilt down like that. I don't like that. And I mean, everybody has their own preference. And then I've also got, one of the stinky
ash.
Those are great ashtrays.
Great ashtray.
So when you buy an ashtray, it's real easy to be like, I want to get this one. I want to get that one. You know what I mean? And especially like for me, because I have so many people coming over to smoke, like I love the one over there, the one that has the chrome top with all the little holes. You know what I don't like about that one? When people bring larger ring gauge, it doesn't stick. It gets stuck in the round hole. Like my ring gauge goes right down in there, but a 52, maybe a 54, they won't fit through. So whenever I have to clean the ashtray, I have to pull those out, and I don't dig that.
Yeah.
Also, some extra stuff that you may or may not have, or maybe never heard of, is like the draw tool. Are you a fan?
I am okay. If I get a cigar that's plugged, you kind of just want to put it down. But if it's a really good cigar and it's going to burn good as soon as you get it fixed, draw tool. Stick your draw tool in there.
So it pisses me off if I have to use a draw tool, but I have used them. And if I spend $15 on a cigar and it's plugged,
draw tool will save it.
I want to try to save that cigar.
Yep.
And so a draw tool, and what? Under $20?
Under $20.
So it's a great tool to have. And then you have the nub tool. Now, I don't use those. Do you?
I do not use nub tool, but I know a lot of people that use nub tools.
I know a lot of people that enjoy them. And if you're smoking a cigar that you want to smoke it down as far as you can possibly smoke it, it's basically like a roach clip for cigars.
Now, the first time I smoked that 2020 in the Toro, I actually was like, does anybody have a nub tool? Because I did not want to put it down. It was so good.
Yeah, but I'll burn my fingers if it's that good. You know what I mean? Like if when I'm holding it, I can get it all the way down to like that.
Yeah.
And so, but if you like the nub tools or you never had one, I don't say that you shouldn't try it. I've tried one.
Yep.
But I know people who love them, and you can get custom ones. Basically, designed for whatever it is that tickles your fancy.
Yep.
You know, I think Bryant had a San Francisco 49er.
I've bought a couple of them. I think I've ended up giving them away.
Yeah. Another great tool, if you haven't ever heard of it or tried it, is the Cigar Medic. Like I don't use it a lot, but when I want to use it, I need it.
I've found using the Cigar Medic on some cigars that, yeah, you're supposed to keep your humidity 68 to 72. But I found cigars that burn really good at 65 or
64.
Yeah. So,
like if I have a really dark, thick, oily Maduro, 64, 63 is not bad. It'll actually smoke a lot better for me.
I've tested some cigars that were burning better than they normally do.
But if you have like a Maduro that's like really oily and it's at 72, I'm going to bet you right now it goes out on you.
It goes out on you because it's going to get that undercrown. Undercrown, I had a 72 Bovita pack in my travel case because I open it a lot. But it tasted really great at 72. But it was getting that thick smoke and I had to kind of keep smoking it or I was going to have to relight it.
Oh, 100%. And so, you know, there's no standard humidity for a humidor if you have multiple types of cigars.
Yep.
I mean, for me, anything between 65 and 69 is where I like to be. But there's times where maybe I'm down at 65 and I'm okay with that too.
I'm okay with that.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, cigar stands. I don't use them, but I know people who do. And if you don't have a good ashtray, I can see that it really has a good use.
So I have a cigar stand. I think actually you probably gave it to me. And I do use it in the morning before the cigar shop opens. I go over to Leaf or to Monk's Coffee, get a coffee, and I have a place
Where
to
you
set
smoke at?
I sit outside. They have tables right there in the front.
Okay.
I set my cigar on my cigar
Do
stand.
they have good coffee?
It's
Decent
coffee.
Okay.
I've been going there for 9 years.
I got you. My
Although,
daughter loves going over there.
One night I left the Leaf. They're still open till 11. I take my cigar stand.
Oh, nice. I did not know that.
And I set my cigar on the cigar stand on the table. And I'll go inside and I get a coffee. I come back. Cigar stand's still there. My cigar's gone. I look around. There's nobody out there.
Had you lit it?
It was lit. It was probably...
Somebody's like, man, there's a damn good cigar right there.
There is some homeless people to walk around, but...
True. But, I mean, I didn't know that. And that's actually a great option. So if you're at the Leaf when they close at 9 and you still want to have another cigar, go have a coffee.
Temperature is perfect outside. Go grab a coffee, sit outside and finish my cigar and go home.
100%. The last one we're going to talk about is humidification packs. And I mean, you know, there's 2-3 brands. There used to be one, maybe they're still out there. I don't know. Humistat or you know what I'm talking about?
No. So Bovita pack was the first one I heard of. It was actual pack.
Bovita, however you say it. They've been around the longest.
Now, recently I've heard of some new ones coming out, some different brands. So people are going to...
I've got a ton of the other ones, and I feel horrible. I don't remember the name. I want to say they were called... For some reason, I say Boom, but it's not Boom. You know what? I'll look it up, and I'll put it in the show notes so you guys can look. And after the show, I'll show you. I've got boxes of them. But, I mean, I don't really care the brand. No, it's like, as long as you're working, I'm good with it. The only thing I don't like about this brand is when Bovetta is done, the pack is hard.
Yeah.
Like, you know it's not working. Once it's hard as a rock, it's over. But with the other one, it doesn't get hard. So just squishing it, you're like, I don't know if it's still working or not.
More of like a gel in there.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. Check out our sponsors in the links. Send us your Showcase 6 reviews. You could be winner of the Cigar Talk swag pack next. That's basically the only way to get one of our Cigar Talk challenge coins. And so they're pretty rare out there. Not everybody has one of those. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. Congratulations to Michelob. And until next time,
Smoke them while you got them. I don't know what Larry says.
Well, whatever you say.
Okay.
You don't got to say what Larry says.
I was trying to come up with something before the show started. I didn't come up with anything.
Boo. Anyway, guys, y'all have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then.
Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and think about sunny weather.
Happy trails to you till we meet again.